Hello. Welcome to Valful Volume. I'm Val Selby. Thanks so much for being here. Oh my gosh. So, this is airing on New Year's Eve day. I don't know about you, but I am kicking 2024 the hell out. I'm out. It's been such a strange year, and it's just like, yeah, I'm ready for that to end, and it's strange to be saying that again after, all of us going through all of the COVID stuff that 2024 was just like, it was just weird, super weird. Not to mention that I'm like, okay, all of this growth that I just had, okay, let's just, can the growth just be a little break? I don't think it can. I feel like the growth is just one of those things that just gets more. Because, right, the more we start working on things, the more we learn. And then the more we learn, we don't know. And then... But I am ready for 2024 out. I am embracing 2025. Like, my brain is already, like, I'm already there. I know technically if you're listening to this on the day it aired, that's only hours away, but that's not what I mean. Like, weeks ago, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even planning for the rest of 2024. My brain was already like, yep, already moved forward, done. What do I need to look like to have January 1st, 2025 be like, whoop, here it is. This is what I put in place. Here's how I transitioned. Here's where all that growth came from and all of that bullshit that I've had to deal with for the last few months with tech. And boom, here we go. Fresh start in 2025, which I was talking in the group. It's hilarious that this is the first year in 4 or 5 years that I haven't managed or hosted the Fresh Start bundle. We always have that in December. And this year I was just like, no, we're going to do something different. So totally did something different. And then I do personally and in my business, I'm like, oh, fresh start. Yeah, that's how I'm going into 2025. So it's ironic that I didn't host that bundle this year when that's what I probably could have used some help with. But we did the December de-stress fast. So I downloaded some of that stuff, and believe me, with the tech hell that has happened in the last weeks, I definitely needed December de-stress. Absolutely needed it. So, kicking 2024 to the curb. Happy it's gone. Thank you for the lessons that were brought. Deep breath. I'm lots of lessons. As I was talking to members, I created in the private group. I've created the what was I calling it? Oh, truth bomb lessons. Because like every time I tried to do some new learning curve or decided that I was moving platforms that's how it all started. Decided I was going to do that, then decided that wasn't going to happen, then decided that I had this, and I was being very intentional, and yet I was getting Mercury retrograde curveballs thrown at me left and right. And so then I'm like, I just need a deep breath, be cranky butt about what's broke. Even as I'm recording right now, I still have something major broke on the site. But there was lessons in, of course, every bit of all of the tech crap. So, and wanting to move platforms and all of that, there was definitely lessons in there. So they've become truth bomb lessons, little blog for me to breathe and get over the bullshit that has been the last few months of tech. It's not going to be an issue anymore. I reached out and got help with that. And so I don't have to worry about the tech crap in the back end anymore. I will have somebody helping me with that, which is fabulous because I'm going into 2025 simple. So I am not sure if I've mentioned it in any of the podcasts earlier, but I found my 2025 year word for the year weeks ago. And as soon as it hit, I was a hell yeah, all in, started doing the simplifying thing, right? Which led me down, led me down the paths where the tech hell all happened. So, but we're not going to pay attention to that. We're just going to pay attention that we are doing things simply now. Like everything I am doing is just like, okay, how can I make this simple? How can I keep this simple? 2024, my word was supposed to be back to basics. And I kind of did. But I don't think that even though that was the direction I was going, because this is how I find my word of the year that actually works, is when I'm paying attention to, all right, how is the year progressing? What's going on towards the end of the year? What am I already leaning into? So back to basics was the end of 2023. So it became my phrase for 2024. And it just, I don't think that there was ever, well, yes, I did take things back to basics, and tried to keep things back to basics. I don't think I had enough of what is back to basics. What are the basics? I don't think I ever sat down and figured that out. So my brain by the end of 2024 is just like, well, we just want everything to be simple. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I do. Who doesn't? I don't mind being pushed out of my comfort zone and doing things when I want to, but what if everything was simple and I got to absolutely choose when I wanted to learn a new platform or do any of that? What would that look like? And my brain's like, yeah, hell yeah, girl, we are doing that. Everything is being simplified. Everything. Which kind of led me down into that, all the tech crap, because then my brain was just like, oh, simple, all in one platform. And then that didn't go well whatsoever. Not here to talk about that right now, but I probably will. There's a rant in there about a big platform that has me pissed off. But I want to come in with like strategic and write it out and do that before I come in and rant about it and have that conversation here with you. But what does simple mean? So I started looking, at everything and going, okay, so simple to me is, things progress, lead magnet, possibly tripwires, but it progresses to, this is how I want to help people, right? And I just say funnel as, because that's the easy, simple outlay of, this is what journey I want people to go on with me. And that's what you have to do for a business. Doesn't matter what you want to call it or not call it. It's always a funnel. It's always you're leading into something else with the clients that you have. That is business. So I'm like, okay, so then what's simple and how can I make everything more simple? And what does that look like? So then I started like, what? Simple. Oh my gosh, I've got to have an acronym for that. So of course I hit Gemini and I worked out acronym for simple so that I can base the year on it for myself and for taking you along on this journey as well. So let's see, that's 6. Gosh, I could probably even do one a month, right? And just come in here and talk about the S and what does the I mean and all of that. So let me go through them because this is what we figured out. I had to tinker back and forth. I had to brainstorm a lot with Gemma. I think that's the name that's sticking. I like Gemini, but Gemma. Gemma and I were having a conversation and we figured out that simple stands for strategic, intentional, mindful, productive, leverage, and empowerment or empowering. Gemma wants it to be empowering. I always want it to be empowerment. So, So I just left it empowering. So that like really nailed what I want the year to be about. So, strategic. If it's not going to be strategic, then I don't got time to be throwing a lot of spaghetti at the wall and consistently throwing spaghetti at the wall. I don't want to do that anymore. It's very energy draining. Sometimes it needs to get done so that we can get data and we might be changing something. But for the most part, I just want to get plans in place and just be strategic about what I'm creating and why. Really a why. Which is, I've got to redo I have an opt-in that I want to redo that's over at my old coaching site. Who the hell are you talking to? And that to me is part of the simplicity and simplifying everything is just okay, always remember, who am I talking to? What do they need help with? Why are they on my email list? There's very specific reasons why they're on my email list, or so I like to think until I go and look at what the community questions are when you join communities. And it's very interesting how many people are finding me and it's a lot of the mindset that they want to work on, which is so wonderful because I'm here for that all day. So S in simple, strategic. I'm going to approach my work with a clear plan, prioritizing tasks, and making thoughtful decisions. I'd already been working on this quite a bit. I have my morning, I don't want to call it routine because it's not like this is what I'm doing and all of, but have my morning, three or four things that I do every single workday morning. And that's specifically to do stuff off of my list. Just being strategic on how I'm going to get things done, on how I'm going to repurpose stuff. I mean, just like, okay, I have a piece of content. What can I do with it? And where can it go? And how can I get it out to more people? That kind of goes with intentional, strategic, intentional. Every action will have a purpose, ensuring that I am focused on what truly matters. Remembering what truly matters also helps. I created a vision board at the end of, just a couple of weeks ago. I created a vision board and it's right above my camera. So hopefully that helps remind me. My screen's really, really big. I love my big screen. But I'm hoping it'll help remind me to be looking more up at the camera versus looking at my screen like I always am. But intentional. Those are the things that I'm working on. My vision board has travel, health, move, because we're working on that, my biz, and freedom, and pictures for all of that, of what that means for me. So that is all of my intentions, all there on that vision board. So how can I be strategic in using my stuff to get to that vision board of what is happening? Mindful. I'm going to stay present in each moment. That's a big one. In each moment. Appreciating the journey and avoiding distractions. That's a big, tall order for the squirrel girl, right? Absolutely appreciating the journey. Even when tech hell, Mercury retrograde, which is not supposed to be great coming up, I guess this year for me as well. I'm going to just ignore that. Even when all of that was going on, was just like, okay, what are we learning? Not that I was not pissed off and losing it. Absolutely. I was not pretending that life was grand by any means. But what can I pull from this? Because obviously, and I can especially look back now, I wasn't supposed to move platforms. I wasn't supposed to do quite a few different things, which is why none of it was working. None of it. So I do appreciate the journey, even when it sucks. I'm still appreciating the journey. I have been much more present. I've been working on avoiding distractions. It's a work in progress. Squirrel. It's always going to be a work in progress, but as long as I'm still working on it, then that means I'm winning. So mindful, M and simple. P, productive. So efficiency is key, and I'm going to aim to achieve my goals and focus and clarity. Efficiency is key. Efficiency is key is a big part of why I want simple. It's because I have felt, there's been chaos going on for the last couple of years, the last few years. Like I said, not even just world, like just my world. So to look at all of the stuff that I have created and that is out there, and all of it there was quite a bit of willy-nilly. I am excited to take a look at and realize that, okay, you have this. It's much more efficient to take that and maybe expand on it as a new product, or update it completely as a new product, because it might be a couple years old now, versus trying to redo an entire new product from scratch. So things like that, like taking the stuff that I have, I'm going to work more efficient by repurposing what I have for sure. And updating. Stuff needs to get updated. Sometimes stuff needs to get updated once a year, or sometimes even more, depending on what your courses are, or your journals or anything are. They have to get updated. So why not do that and put SOPs in place when I do it? Mark down on my calendar when it probably needs to get done again. That's part of working more efficiently for me, is setting up the process versus, okay, it's just over here. And I have been looking at more things because I've been trying to use my Asana board for events that I'm in, and that's just not working. So I've got a Google Sheet out now that will definitely be going to the Collaborate and Grow members in a few weeks. It might be February, but I'm not quite sure if I can get it done in January. But it's got the Google Sheet, so you can track stuff and see what collabs you are in and what you're doing and all of your stuff. So that kind of stuff is going to make me much more efficient, because even though I have all of the information in one spot, I really want that Google Sheet where everything is all together in one spot and I can see it all in front of my face, instead of, okay, well, this event is this. It improved on my system that I already had, made it more efficient. So productive, that's the P. Efficiency is the key. I didn't mean to rhyme, I swear. I'm sorry. Leverage. So I'm going to make the most of my resources, skills, and network to maximize my impact. I am more all in than ever before on collabs and how I can do more collaborations. So I have a goal of being on at least one podcast every month, or I should say recording, because if I'm on a podcast, I have no control over when that will actually go in. So I want to be recording as a guest on at least one podcast a month. So if you're looking for podcast guests, please reach out, hit me up. Love to come and talk to your community. Leveraging. Just the fact that, we're putting the blog on YouTube now, or not the blog, the podcast on YouTube now. That's a big help, right? That's starting to leverage. Now I want to leverage even more with taking, pieces of it out and putting it out on social media for, little videos, and, really using the resources that I have in place, because I record on Riverside. And there's so much stuff for marketing in here, and the AI that you can use. So leveraging my tools is going to be big in 2025, because I've got a lot of tools And I know that some of these tools like Riverside have upgraded so much that I don't even know all of the stuff that I could be using in here until I start messing around with it. So using what I've got, leveraging it in more places, getting things on Pinterest, getting the Pinterest account back active. Well, that one actually might not have ever been active, but getting regular updates to the Pinterest account, things like that. Taking what I already have and using it more, repurposing it, leveraging everything. Empowerment, empowering. I'll foster confidence and growth in myself and those around me. And that's part of being here on this podcast and sharing my truth. Sharing the bullshit that's going around, that all of this coaching stuff that you hear and you've heard for decades, and just blowing it up and being honest and truthful that, you know what, some of us know a lot of stuff more in certain areas, but none of us knows everything about business. And we definitely don't know everything about your business. And coming in to empower myself and you in the fact that we know how to run our own business. We do. When we're coming up against the roadblocks, it's because it's on the right track. So it's kind of trying to block you, kind of trying to test you a little bit, blocking the path. Do you want this? And then it leads you down that road of, okay, well, maybe I don't know what I'm doing. And it's like, you do. This is why you're being tested. And the big thing is the fact that we are in such a big change right now. I mean, 2024 business has changed. It has absolutely changed. We're not through the change yet. We're still watching the changes happen and trying to figure them out. But the more you and I work together, the more I'm empowered, the more I can help empower other women in their businesses, the more we're all going to figure it out. And that is going to be the way business goes on in the future. Is, I really do believe that collaborations and working more one-on-one with other businesses, it's going to be like the old school downtown associations kind of thing. It just has to get more real connection, connection and engagement. So the more we work together, the more empowered we are, right? So empowering is always on the empowerment. It's always on there. So this is the acronym for SIMPLE, which is my word of the year. Feel free to grab it if you want to, but I will be doing everything around these 6 topics for myself. Everything's going to be strategic. Everything's going to be intentional. Everything's going to be mindful, productive, leverage, empowering. That is what I'm going to base all of the stuff that I'm creating on. Not that I'm not creating products on those topics. That's my standard, I guess is what I should say. That's how I'm going to make sure that simple is my word. That I lived it, that I figured it out, that this is how I want simple to play out. This is how it will play out. So I love to connect, find out, especially if you have a word of the year, how did you figure it out? If you're looking for podcast guests, I would love to be on your podcast. I have guests lined up for the next few, guest appearances coming up. I am really excited to be going into 2025 with this, like a fresh start mindset and seeing everything that unfolds with all of us in our businesses and how great it is that the changes are going to be happening, and we're going to be here for it, and we're going to be ready for it. And we're going to help other people through the changes that they're going to be navigating through, right? All right. So simple. Happy 2025. Happy New Year. And thank you for being here. And I cannot wait to talk with you more in this upcoming year. Have a fabulous and safe night.